Hi everybody, another episode of T4L TV, and today again I've got Megan Towns from Microsoft showing us all brilliant, marvellous things to go. Now today we're going to be looking at inking on the desktop, inking on Edge, inking in OneNote, inking on what else?
Whiteboard app. And Edge. Oh, you already said that.
Edge. So we're going to look at everything. Basically, if you've got a screen, you can ink.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I actually had a teacher say that to me the other day in a workshop. What is inking? Like, what do you mean by inking?
Yeah.
Because I say it so much. I've been using an ink-based device
so
for so
long. Easy way for people to understand what?
It's a digital pen. So if you have one of these HP X360s, they come with a digital stylus, okay? Greig's got a Surface Book here, and that's got a digital stylus as well. So it just means
you can use your finger as well. You don't have to have the stylus, do you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think all the things I'm about to show you have a little hand icon. That means you can touch that and use your hand to write. Yep. So particularly good for early years kids as well. So let's get stuck in. Like I said, we're going to look at Edge and
desktop.
Desktop inking, as well as OneNote app and the Whiteboard app.
Beauty.
So let's get stuck in and have a look.
And remember, this is a really good thing to be using if you're a teacher and you've got an interactive whiteboard or display. You're inking and you're being able to do that up on the screen allows you to annotate as you're teaching the kids. So
Absolutely.
It's really, really good.
A lot of the time when I show these features, teachers are like, "Oh, I can do that on my interactive whiteboard, no matter what brand."
So it's not just a whiteboard that you draw on. This is the computer screen. You're drawing in overlays, you're doing everything. And you can do it anywhere and everywhere in Windows 10.
Correct,
okay, let's have a look at what we can do.
Right,
What's our first thing?
So I've got a website here. It's just the Australian Museum website on ice ages and butterfly fish.
So you're using Edge?
Yes, so using the Edge browser. So there is a slight difference, or there are, two browsers on your T4L devices. So you've got Internet Explorer. So I've just searched that through the start menu. That's sort of our old browser. We've still kept it around because so many websites were developed for Internet Explorer.
We've actually got a few sites that are very specific within the department. You still have to use IE for, unfortunately.
Absolutely. So Internet Explorer is still there. But it's not what we call a modern browser. So Edge is a modern browser. It's really great for HTML5
Move to Edge, everybody. It's awesome. Brilliant. Really is good.
And hopefully within the next 4 minutes, I'll convince you why you might want to move to Edge. So over here in Edge, I've got just a blog post open from the Australian Museum site, like I said. Up in the top corner in the browser bar, I've got two icons that are now black. One's my favourite icon, where I can just favourite it. The other one is what we call reading view. So this is great for students who might be challenged by all the cluttering on that screen with the ads and the menus and all that sort of stuff. So this is what happens when I click it. Basically, I just am presented with the text and maybe images that are on that website as well. It's just in a reading format.
Really clean.
And it is. It's really clean. So, like I said, it's a lot easier for kids to read if they do have dyslexia or dysgraphia. And even if you're at the front of the room as a teacher, being able to click that button and make it a little bit easier. Get rid of the garbage
that's also coming with it. Does it work with all websites?
No, good question. Yep. So it's usually just blog posts and newspaper articles.
Do a bit of research before you get up there and think that the reader icon is going to be available.
And that icon goes black if it is available. If it's not available, it stays greyed out.
Greyed out.
So from here, if I actually click in the top right-hand corner, I've got a couple of options. I can print it in that nice clean fashion, or I can click on the double A's, and I've got two different things I can do. I can increase the text size, which is great for vision impaired kids, and I can also change the colour contrast. So there's yellow, what's that called?
Sepia.
Sepia? Yes, sepia. And then white on black, which again is really good for your vision. Very good, yes. So yeah, check out Reading View. Look for that grey icon, grey book icon to go black, and you'll be able to use
That's a really handy feature. I love that.
Really simple.
Okay.
So another feature that I want to show is also in Edge, up in that top right-hand corner, and it's the little inking icon.
Pen, yeah.
Right, now if you're not sure which version of Windows you're on, this is actually a bit of a giveaway. The older version of Windows that a lot of schools have will have a square icon with a pen on it in Edge. That's an older version of Windows. If you want the latest 1709 update, look for the pen by itself and you know you've got 1709. So, clicking on that pen, I might actually fit this little PC around, or this laptop around.
That's better, that's good.
So I can choose to switch to tablet mode too, I'll just mention that. And that basically gives me a little bit more screen real estate. I tend to choose no all the time. That's just me, but it's up to personal preference. All right, so I've got a few tools up the top here. I mentioned that hand icon before. That's where you can actually touch that and draw with your finger, or I can untick that and be drawing with my pen. So there's an eraser as well, so I can get rid of that. So it might be that I'm standing up the front of the room and I want all my students to identify the proper nouns on this particular page. So I can use 2 fingers to scroll up and down the screen, and we can highlight those proper nouns that I see. All right, so let's keep highlighting those.
Clever.
Yeah, nice and easy. But as I move my screen, the ink moves with it,
right?
which is really
so
cool.
It's tied to the text.
Absolutely. I might also use a pen. So if I double click on that, I've got lots of different color options as well as thickness options. And I could circle something and draw attention to
You
it.
can annotate.
Absolutely.
Brilliantly.
Speaking of annotations, I can also click on the
Like a
note
balloon.
button, and I can tap on my screen, and then I can be typing a note in there as well if I want to. And those notes actually save. Well, the inking saves as well if I choose to click save, and I can come back to that later.
Yep.
I can also do a screenshot. So if I go up the top here, that little clipping tool.
Oh, very nice.
I know previously if I wanted to do a screenshot of a long website, I'd piece it all together and put it in Photoshop or something like that.
Never looked any good.
Now it's a click and drag away. So click on that inking icon in Edge, click on the clipping tool, and now I can left click and drag all the way down.
Wow. Oh, that is so good.
And then when I let go, it is copied. And then I can jump into something like Word or PowerPoint and then just paste it.
Get that in there.
So paste.
Did we get it?
And there's my full website.
Wow.
Cool.
And you can make that bigger and make
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Oh, that is so
it's now
good.
an image and I can change the size of that. So yeah, great
for
way for you to do
websites, that's amazing, because the
screenshots.
one thing you can never do with a website is get the whole lot in if you've got to just take screenshots if you're making
Absolutely.
a manual or a how-to. That is so clever. Really, really good.
So that's Edge. Reading
Excellent.
View and Web Notes, or Web Inking, sorry.
Yep.
Great 2 little tools for teachers to check out.
Quick little aside. Down the bottom here, you've got your inking icon, and you were searching around because you didn't have your keyboard to type into that. How would a user bring those icons up down the bottom?
Very good. So if you right-click or with your
On the
finger,
taskbar.
hold your finger down for a couple of seconds and then let go, you've got different options here. So if you don't see the Windows ink space that I'm about to show, you can, if you don't see the pen icon, which is the Windows ink space, that's where you can just double-click, right-click, and show Windows Ink Workspace.
And you've got the keyboard there as well.
You've also got the keyboard.
Yep.
So I'll do that, and then I'll also bring up that touch keyboard button. It just means that when you are in tablet mode, like I am now, and you want to type something in, so if I go up here, for example, I can click on that keyboard button down the bottom.
Yep. Now that's really, really useful for you teachers that have got your main displays on the board, so that you've got somewhere to get your keyboard, because hunting around for the physical keyboard, if it comes up on the screen, so much easier to play with.
Absolutely.
Don't type your passwords in with the on-screen
No,
keyboard.
or just take up your whole body on the board.
It's a bit hard. You've got to spread around and do all sorts of weird things like you did with your ATM. Yeah,
Exactly like that, actually.
it really is weird.
right.
Okay, what's our next thing that we're looking at?
So we're going to look now at
Desktop inking?
the Windows Ink Workspace.
Desktop ink, yep.
So I might actually jump back to Paint 3D.
So if you're using something other than Edge or whatever,
Start
this
using
gives-
Edge.
Well, but no, for desktop. If you're using another
sorry.
app.
Yes. So it doesn't have to be a browser. It doesn't have to be Office software. In
Anything
this case,
else.
I'm Paint 3D. And I want to show students how to use this software. So what I'm going to do is click on that Ink Workspace button, and I'll choose Screen Sketch. What that does is takes a screenshot of what I'm looking at on my computer right now. Similar to the Edge inking, but a few more tools. I can actually bring up different pens, pencils, and highlighters. So I might sit there and say, all right, students, if you want to do some 3D modeling, the 3D Shapes button is the button for you.
Yep.
I recommend that before you create your 3D model, you actually turn off the canvas. So make sure you click the canvas button and then turn off the first button before you get started. So great way just to draw attention to what's happening on the screen or to explain an idea or a concept. A few other tools moving along. So you've got pencil tools, slightly different texture. You've got the highlighter. You've got an eraser if you don't have an eraser on the end of your pen, where you can erase the inking.
Got the hand icon to swap around with as well. Oh, the ruler comes in handy, yes.
So I've just got 2 fingers on my ruler, and as I move that around, you'll notice that there's a percentage change, angle change.
Angle change on it. And when you draw along it with a pen, you get to draw a really, really straight line.
Absolutely. And then you can even
Anybody who's tried to use inking on a screen knows it's impossible to draw a straight line.
I did used to put a real ruler on the screen.
Yeah, that'd be right. Clever.
I can switch from ruler to protractor. And this time when I draw, again, you'll actually see that angle come in. So great for mathematical concepts as you're talking at the front of the room, or perhaps your students are on these devices.
So how did you get to the protractor?
Yep, so the 5th icon along just allows you to switch between ruler and protractor.
Nice.
If you want to turn it off, just click it again.
Maths teachers taking note here. They'll be using it, won't they? Really good. What else have we got?
We've also got the ability to save and share whatever we have inked.
Okay, that's good.
So I can click on save and save that as a JPEG, as a PNG file somewhere on my computer. I can also just share it or copy it and paste it into Word.
So if you're creating a document that shows what the kids are doing, you could do this and then put it into that Word document.
Absolutely. I do this stuff all the time when I'm creating instruction guides and things like that.
Perfect.
So whether that's for students or teachers,
it's really, really good.
Will be up to you. But yeah, check out that Windows Ink Workspace.
And what are the other Windows Ink? You've got a couple of options with that, haven't you?
You've also got sticky notes, so you can actually write on your sticky notes if you want to. There's also apps down there that allow ink-based functionality. And the last one I'll show is the Sketchpad.
Kind of gets superseded with what we're going to be going to next, though, really, doesn't it?
Yes and no. So if you just need to do if you just want to show a simple concept on the board. So if I wanted to show how to do addition, for example, I can remove that particular default. So if I wanted to show students how to add 423 plus 398, all right, I would say you do 8 plus 3 is 11. So 1, carry the 1, and then 8 to 1 is my answer. Right? That's how we do it. Happy days. You can save that, you can share it. Just a really quick sketching moment. Kids could also obviously do it, use it for creative purposes, just some quick sketching and inking. My daughter absolutely loves using this for drawing manga drawings.
I'm amazed how clever they are in using these sort of things to draw. Paint used to be like that. Kids that do some amazing things in paint, this would be the same sort of thing for them.
For sure, and especially with the pencil tool. So the pencil tool has some lovely different texture. So you can see there, if I lean harder on the screen, it goes darker. And then lighter as well.
So it's pressure sensitive as well, really nice.
So yeah, that's just the Windows Ink Space and Sketchpad and Screen Sketch as 2 features for both teachers and students.
Excellent. All right, so we're moving on now to what we're going to do, Whiteboard?
Whiteboard or OneNote, I can't decide. Let's go with OneNote.
OneNote first.
All right, so the OneNote application, so not OneNote 2016, but OneNote app.
Windows Store app.
So you may need to download it, but I believe it's default on the computers. So you may see OneNote and OneNote 2016. So you want the one that doesn't have the calendar year.
Yep.
All right, so I'll click on that OneNote. The first time you open it, you will be prompted to log in. So that's just a matter of logging in with your DET username and password.
We'll come up with a federated login as well after that.
And this is the latest version of OneNote. So I'm going to show my favourite features. For using this version.
Difference, is there now, really?
The ribbon's a little bit skinnier.
Yep.
And instead of notebooks being on the left, sections across the top, and pages down the right, they all appear in the 3 columns. So sections, notebooks, sections, pages, which is actually consistent with OneNote Online, OneNote on the Mac, OneNote on mobile devices.
So they're all the same. I know that this is really handy because both my son, who's in year 12 now, and my daughter, who's at university, still using OneNote because they can annotate their notes.
Absolutely.
They're finding it invaluable. It is a really, really good tool for that sort of stuff.
It really is. I just set my husband up actually with OneNote for his new job. He is out on site and he takes photos directly using his iPad and OneNote.
Everything goes into one place beautifully.
Thinks it's amazing. Thinks I'm amazing.
My wife taught me something, isn't it good? You bet you do that a lot.
Not really. What I'll do is I'll show a couple of different features. So I'm just going to add a new page. So first of all, just obviously the drawing tools. So I can add drawing as a heading. You'll notice on my pages list that it also shows up as a title, which is quite nice. And then I've got more drawing tools available to me now. So different coloured pens, galaxy pens, which are very important. So I can easily change the colours of my pens. But what I want to show is, first of all, some of these tools across the top. So we've got shapes. We've also got ink to shape.
Ink to shape is good.
What that means is if I do a circle, it will turn into a nice neat circle, or a square, triangle. There's a fair, what's that called?
Rhombus.
Rhombus.
Polygons.
Diamond type of shapes.
Ooh,
yeah, there we
nice.
go. So ink to shape, simple concept,
Very
all
nice.
underneath the draw tool. Another thing that you can do is the maths tool.
Oh, I just saw that and I think this is going to be really good.
All right, so with the maths tool, this is a great assistive technology. So it's for students who need a little bit of help with maths,
Yep.
whether it be checking their answers, whether it's just getting that extra support
Yep.
because they don't understand what the next steps are. So I'm just going to do some basic algebra. So if I did 4x plus 3 equals y, and then I actually select it. So on one of the HP pens, you can actually hold down the button at the bottom and then select around it. Actually, it's the second button from the bottom.
There you go. So now it's selected.
So now it's all selected. Now I can click maths. Oh, that
Ooh.
hasn't quite got it right.
Yeah.
The +3 is too high, so I'm actually going to fix it. So I will pick up the +3, move it down a little bit, and say done. And let's see how that goes this time. And do maths again.
Better.
Much better. So 4x plus 3 equals y. I need to find either x or y. So if I solve for x, that's going to give me the answer.
Oh, kidding me.
However, my maths teacher, Mrs. Lester, always used to tell me I had to show the steps.
Show working.
So
Yep.
I can show steps for solving that linear equation and actually see those steps
That is
in effect.
invaluable.
So I could then, either write them in. Whoops. I can write that in.
Getting that muscle memory.
Equals
Yep.
y. Yeah, absolutely. Or, whoops, let's turn off ink to shape. Or if I scroll down and find some more space, I can actually pick up the steps and drag them over onto the screen.
Right. So
Just
you've
makes
got
life a
that all
little
the
bit
time
easier.
now in your OneNote page, which you're developing
Yeah.
and you're keeping for your notes.
Absolutely.
Really good.
So another great feature in regards to inking is the ink replay. So if I go to view, I can view that ink and replay how it
Process
came out.
the
So
whole thing.
whether that is a student using replay to watch what you as a teacher have put into their OneNote notebook, or whether it's you as a teacher going into the student notebook and having a look at how they actually came to that answer.
I can see a teacher being able to go through, do the whole lesson sitting in OneNote, having that recorded, sharing it out to their class so that they can review that lesson.
Absolutely.
We're talking algebra, high-end maths, those sorts of things. The kids have got the opportunity. That is brilliant.
Even something as simple as annotating a poem for English.
Yes. Any subject you could walk with.
Drawing onto a diagram, labelling parts of a country, all sorts of different things that you can replay
Just being
back.
able to review things. And that's the way kids'
Absolutely.
minds work nowadays. Like they'll go and they'll listen to you in the classroom, but they kind of tend to spend more time watching videos. And so
True.
occupy their obsessions.
They can replay this back at a moment that's timely for them.
That's
so
really good.
what I'll do is I'll click replay, and what it asks you to do is drag the area, click and drag on the area you want to watch again. So I'll just not left click, I'll just click and drag with my pen, and I can see the way that came out. All right?
Excellent.
So yeah, great little tool to draw students' attention to under the View tab. And that can be played over and over and over again. So yeah, that is inking using the actual Draw tab.
Quick aside on that.
Yes.
Can you also record your voice while you're doing that?
Nice segue. Okay, so here is a bit of work that a student has done, and as a teacher, I want to come in and mark it. Now, I could go to those drawing tools, and I could, correct it, and then hopefully my students would understand the changes that I had made. But what I can do is actually create a deeper feedback experience
Much better.
using the audio tool that is included within OneNote. So what I tend to do when I do this sort of marking experience is give myself a little bit of room up the top, go to Insert, and the second that I click on audio, an audio recording will start.
Brilliant.
So what I'm going to do is simulate how I would mark this particular piece of work as soon as I click that button, and then select my drawing tool. All right, you seem to have forgotten the capital A on Australia. Don't forget that places require a capital letter because they're a proper noun. You continue on really well through the rest of the sentences. Love your use of the word macropod there, well done. A little bit of an incorrect spelling of animals. Just make sure you do it with the N first, then the M. And a kangaroo actually hops rather than hopes, so it needs a double P. But absolutely love your work there, fantastic. Look forward to seeing your next draft. And then up the top, under the recording tab, I can then just click stop. So what that means is, yes, a student can see their written feedback, but they can also come in and double click the audio file and watch your feedback and listen to you at the same time.
Brilliant.
So let's have a look at what that looks like when they double click.
All right, you seem to have forgotten the capital A on Australia. Don't forget that
Right.
places
So
require
at that
a
moment that
capital
I was
letter.
talking about the capital A and writing the capital A itself might be a little bit hard to see on the screen, but it's actually highlighting itself as it goes. So students, therefore, are able to make the connection between what is being written by you as a teacher and what is being said. It's a much deeper feedback experience, and all teachers know the better the feedback, the better the student outcomes.
Definitely. That is really, really good. Excellent.
So yeah, that's how you can provide audio feedback as well as written feedback.
Excellent.
Okie dokie. So another great feature of the OneNote app is the fact that the Immersive Reader, which I talk about all the time, is natively built into the app. So you don't have to do a separate installation like you do with OneNote 2016.
Much easier.
Absolutely. So I can go to the View tab, and it's the third icon along, Immersive Reader. So that just gives me the ability as a student to read the text and change the text according to my needs. So I can, in the simplest instance, click on play, and that will
can sometimes be referred to as going on a bed,
play it
but
back
they're
to
not
me.
bad at all.
So I can change the voice. It will read up to 70 different languages, so that's really powerful. You can
So
also
many
use,
applications.
Oh, it's amazing.
Brilliant.
You can also use the icons up the top to increase or decrease the text size. You can change the spacing. It doesn't have to be large
Yep.
spacing. It doesn't have to have the lines, characters, and
Mono
words
spacing by the
spaced.
looks of it, yeah.
You can turn that off. You can change your fonts. You can change
Colours.
your colour contrast, which is great for vision impaired kids as well as dyslexic kids. And then another great feature is the ability to highlight the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and
Wow.
adverbs
That is just amazing.
into different colours. So you
When
can
you're
even
learning
change
what they all are, is so good. You see, because you might have some colours that you're already using in your classroom. If you can get the kids to
Exactly.
swap it over, it matches what they're seeing on the board. Oh, that is just so clever.
So yeah, beautiful tool for not just kids who might have learning difficulties, but also great for kids who want
Just
to
getting that
edit their
deeper
work.
understanding. It's
Absolutely.
really good. Have I included these elements in my sentence? Those sorts of things as well.
Correct. So another great feature is what we call the picture dictionary. So that is automatically turned on, and you can click on a word and get a visual representation
Isn't
of
that
it,
cute? I love
which is
it.
sort of cool.
I love it.
So not all words obviously exist in the picture dictionary, but most
A lot did.
nouns for sure
How clever.
appear. So yeah, that is Immersive Reader, and it is natively a part of the OneNote app. So lots
Very,
of different
very,
reasons
very clever
to
tool.
switch to the OneNote app.
Yep.
You know, everything from inking to Immersive Reader to math tools.
And obviously Microsoft's now looking at that. That's their primary OneNote, so they're putting all
Absolutely.
of their efforts into it
So
now.
we develop for the cloud first,
Yep.
OneNote Online, and then our applications.
Excellent, perfect.
So yeah, check it out. Great little app.
Really, really nice. So we've done inking on the desktop, inking on Edge. We've looked at OneNote, and our last thing that we're going to look at now is the whiteboard, which I'm really really excited about. Whiteboard is a tool that I've been looking for ages that works well on the Windows 10 platform so that we can do our MoCA MLD. Great for teachers. So let's go through and have a look at how the whiteboard works.
All right, so
Now remember, this is available on the store. Get it downloaded.
So if you go to the store, I think it's the first
one on the left-hand side for some reason. It's got priority.
Or the second.
Second after Office Lens. Yep.
So Microsoft Whiteboard. You can collaborate in OneNote, but it does have a certain delay. It's not quite as live as our other Office experiences. So Whiteboard allows for, I guess in its simplest form, collaborative mind mapping, note-taking, all that kind of thing. There's some great tools.
Think project-based learning. We've got 4 or 5 kids working on one together. That's the sort of thing you could do.
Absolutely.
Yep. 2 teachers working on something, anything.
We've both got Whiteboard app open on our computer. I've set up a whiteboard, so when you come into the Whiteboard software, you can have multiple whiteboards happening. And on this particular one, I shared the link with Greig, and he's already writing on his screen. So top right-hand corner on that little person, I'm able to click on more options, and I can create a link. And I shared that with Greig. I actually used a web URL shortener and made it a short link so it could easily be shared. You could put it in your, put it into Teams, put it in an email, however you want to share the link.
Write it on
the board.
Yep.
So we've now got this collaborative whiteboard. So, I could play a game, noughts and crosses if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But we are limited by
I'm going to go red.
So that's how it's very live, as you can see. And as Greig, I didn't actually mean to lose. And as Greig...
I'm giving you a free run. No, not twice.
As you can see on the screen, as Greig was writing, your initials were coming up straight away.
I know we're sitting here together, but it is going via the link. The delay is virtually non-existent, very, very small.
Absolutely. So let's quickly
you could do this across school.
That. Yes, you could. There'd be some very imaginative ideas out there, I think.
Very easily done, yes.
Using.
So think those subjects that you can't get a
app.
full set of kids working in a class, you put schools together to run those classes, all of that stuff works really, really well.
Networks of schools that are running a subject across 3 or 4 different venues. Absolutely great
Broadens
tool.
your subject within your school if you're not able to run those.
So what we've also got is the ability to add some extra content. So down the bottom, I'm going to click on plus, and I'm going to search for a Bing image, right? I have to say yes and I agree and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to find a picture of the solar system. I'm going to see how well Greig remembers his planets.
I'm really bad.
So search for solar system. You can see it's using a bit of AI there to figure out what I'm looking for. I can scroll down. It's using what we call Creative Commons licensed images.
And you did notice that Megan actually just wrote the...
Yeah, I just wrote in what I was looking for.
We're writing, so that's just really clever.
So let's pop in a picture of the solar system. Clicking on that plus button.
It needs to be bigger. I'm half blind, remember?
Well, that's all right.
I can see it now.
So
that's
the
good.
beauty of touch is that I can touch that picture and I can use my 2-finger pinch and zoom to insert that photo.
And I'm doing that on mine now and making it nice and big. Okay, so I know what the first one is on the left. That's the sun. And the third blue one's got to be the Earth.
Let's race from front to back. You start at the front,
you're terrible.
I'll start
Here we go.
at the back.
What colour are you using?
I'm going to go blue.
You're going to blue. I'll go red.
Pluto, Neptune.
Is that Mercury?
Uranus. What's the big one called? Jupiter. I'm so much faster. All right.
You're doing this.
So,
I get Mars.
there we go. It's actually that easy, and it's that fast, and it's that quick. I believe you can have 35 to 40 people in a whiteboard. I can't remember quite exactly how many that is.
I just put a new planet on that they've just discovered. Go.
There is the new planet.
Yes.
So yeah, inserting images and texting over the top of it is really simple. If I click that plus button again, I can even copy and paste content from other places and just paste it directly in. I might have my own image. We can even take a photo. So I can turn on my camera. Okay, maybe I'm out in the playground and I need to take a photo of something, and then we're going to label it. So I can spin my camera around and we can take a photo of, what should we take a photo of today? Let's take a photo of
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Hi, Lawrence. We're going. Get it back in.
Yep. And then we can do a quick crop.
Yeah, drop it back in. That's it. Yep, perfect.
All right, so
Drop
there
it in.
we have
Really clever.
another picture, and we can label the
And this
human
is an
body.
infinite whiteboard as well, because of the little arrow in the top left there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I can zoom in and out of that whiteboard, and it's infinite.
Yep.
And we can have multiple whiteboard pages as well. So that's what that left arrow does. When I go
Little
back,
left up there.
I can set up all these whiteboards in advance for my lessons for the day
Mm-hmm.
or the week ahead, whatever it might be.
So you've shared that whiteboard with me. If we were doing it to another one, I can't create a whiteboard
You can create a whiteboard by yourself
and then go
you
back
share it
and then
back
share it
with me.
back. Right, okay, but we're sharing that whiteboard. Okay, yep, good.
Absolutely. So the ruler tool's still there. We've
Very
seen
good.
that quite a lot in all of our Windows inking experiences. And that can be moved around. The angle's there as well.
We've got the plus
Yeah, we can
and the
use
lasso tool as well. So if
yeah.
you need to actually copy and paste something, you can do that as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, whiteboard, fairly simple app.
Really
it is
nice.
live collaboration. You've got some more options up here in the top right-hand corner.
So Megan, that is fantastic. Can you go through what sort of the differences and where you would use the different tools, the OneNote, the whiteboard, etc. that we've looked at today?
Yeah, right. So you've got the Edge inking and Windows inking experiences.
Yep.
They're for those in-the-moment experiences where you want to showcase or draw attention to something that's on your screen,
Yep.
Particularly if you're presenting at the front of the room. It's also, to a certain extent, a bit of a flipped model
Yes,
tool
very much
as
so.
well.
Yeah.
So students and teachers alike can create instructions or create, graphics of how they understand a
Not too
certain
dissimilar
topic.
to the way you were already teaching.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the Edge and Windows inking capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the apps. So you've got 3D Paint, Mixed Reality, and the Photos app, which
Yep.
allow for the creation of videos and photos.
Yep. And
Using
it's
some of those
fine
school
motor skills,
tools.
etc. Yeah.
And then you've got OneNote and Whiteboard, which are great for digital ink. Now, there's a slight difference between why you might use one over the other. OneNote, for example, is great to create those class notebooks and have each student have their own section.
Yep.
Great for your own personal note-taking, teacher planners, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
The Whiteboard app is great for that pure live experience.
That's that
So-
collaboration. That's totally different. We've never had that before,
100%.
have we? No.
No, it's the live collaborative inking experience. It's also great just as an individual too, as a teacher at the front of the room wanting to do that.
Using it as a
inking.
standard whiteboard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And using the tools down the bottom
Bringing
as
in
well.
the shared aspect of being able to have multiple people adding to a concept, an idea. What do we call that when we're doing weird things, when mind mapping and all that sort of
Collaborating?
collaborating?
Yes.
Oh, collaborating. Yes, it's called collaborating. So yeah, it's just different. We've never been able to do that sort of
No.
thing before. Really
So
good.
yeah, combine Windows 10 with the ink-based devices.
Yep.
And amazing
Really clever.
learning and creativity can happen.
Excellent. Well, we've had a great time today.
We have.
And I've learnt a lot. Actually, I've learnt a heap. As I always do when Megan comes around. So if you ever get the chance to see anything that Megan's doing, remember we're going to have the sandpits coming up and Megan's coming. So you can pick her brain for all the weird things that we're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
T4L TV. Thank you. Love your work. See you
Bye.
around. Bye, boys and girls.